Hi, this is Shivani Madam. As part of my 10th assignment, the goal is to build a simple chatbot using Python, IBM Watson Assistant. So users must be able to have some conversation with the bot. Users must be able to start a session and pass email ID as input, and when the user clicks end session, user must receive the conversation transcript via email. Users must be able to select an option for converting the text response from bot to speech and must be able to hear the bot response via speech. Coming to my approach, first step is to design chatbot using HTML and CSS elements. For holding all the conversation, I created empty div with simple welcoming message from bot. And when the user wants to build some conversation, the user passes the input to the text field and clicks send and will append it to the div element using JavaScript properties. And once backend sends appropriate response, it will append it to the div. Coming to bot response logic, when the user wants to start the conversation, the user enters the message to the input field and clicks send. Once the button is clicked, then the respective JavaScript function send request to bot function is called. Inside my JavaScript function, there is a preliminary check whether the user has chosen to convert response to speech. And based on the user response, I am passing a boolean to the backend along with the user input question as a dictionary through my Ajax request. We will be submitting a post request to my backend, and from my backend gives the appropriate response to the user question. When the backend receives the request, it will try to get the input message from the request object. At first, I tried to set up the IBM Watson Assistant, but due to some issues, it was unable to authenticate my payment and activate the account. As I recently moved to the US and I'm still a student, I don't have multiple credit cards to try my payment. So I was unable to proceed with IBM Watson, but I went through the documentation and learned about the IBM Cloud and Watson Assistant. Coming to steps for creating the IBM Watson Assistant, go to the IBM Cloud website and create an account and validate your card and activate the account. Next, navigate to the catalog in the home page and create a new Watson Assistant and get your API key and cloud URL when your Watson Assistant is hosted. The next step is to train your assistant by creating intents and give some phrases so the bot will train itself. Once the bot is trained, when we need to integrate with your application, to integrate with Python, I need to install the IBM Watson package. Here, we need to pass the user input message to the IBM Watson by setting API key and URL and pass message to the assistant.message, and will be receiving appropriate response from the assistant. As I was unable to authenticate my IBM account, I just used custom made responses to the user calls. Next, we need to create a session and send email transcript. Users can also get the conversation transcript via email, and to achieve this, I added a simple buttons to start the session by passing the email. When the user clicks the start session button, then start storing messages JavaScript function is called, and then the messages and the response are recorded and stored in array. And then the user clicks the end session button, then it calls end storing messages JavaScript function, and this function makes Ajax request to my backend passing the conversation array, and the recipient email through post, and then my backend receives a request. Prior to all of the work, I generated the encrypted password of my Gmail to send the transcript email to the recipient. In the backend, I used Python SMTP live to send the email. I just iterated over the input and built the text string for my email and send the email using smp.sendMessage function. To add an option of converting bot response to speech, I added a simple checkbox when the user clicks the checkbox to pass this value while making an Ajax request to the backend to get response to user messages. When my backend receives the request and based on the selected value, it will convert the audio to the speech and play the converted text. To achieve this, I used a simple Python package. I has also added a button to restart the conversation, which wipes all of the previous conversation. We will see the demo here. This is a simple chatbot, as we see. When I send the message to the bot and click on send button, we get a response from the bot, hello. And here when I ask what is the date, and I click on the send, bot will reply the date as April 27, 2022. And if I want to send to email, I will send my mail ID here. I'll give my mail ID and click on the start session. Now it will send the mail from where we start here, like from this point it will send the transcript to my mail. This part of conversation will be sent to the mail. If you see here, when I click on the end session, it will send here. We can see the transcript here. So this is this part we get the mail what we have sent to the bot. When I click on convert response to speech, I give hi, and you send.
Fine.
Yeah.
And you?
We can see the speech from the bot, fine and you. So this response to speech is successful. When I click on the restart conversation, the previous conversation gets cleared and we can start new conversation here again. When you click on the send, so this is again we can start freshly. Key observation: by looking at the project and comparing with what I have learned in the class, architecture is a major part to represent the data. A particular model is used to represent the flow of the data in the web application. Before starting the development of the code, I need to gather all the requirements, which helps to reduce the cost and increase the efficiency of the project. While developing the project, simultaneously documentation should be done, which includes all the steps involved in the development, which would be helpful for the future increments. Through this assignment, I got a chance to explore more about IBM Cloud and their different services, and how natural language processing and machine learning plays an important role in the building boards. I was able to learn SMTP Live to send emails and convert text to speech using Python packages. Thank you.